Good morning. My name is Jacqueline, and I will be your chairperson for today's service. Are there any visitors or new students and families here this morning? If so, welcome to our temple. Could those of you sitting near them help them find the proper pages for the sutras, gathas, and readings? Thank you. First, we'll have Sambujo on page 24 in the Big Book, followed by sutra chanting Juseige on page 23 in the Little Book and page 93 in the Big Book.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. つなまんだつなまんだ。
Now we will have Gatha, I am a link in the golden chain, on the second page of the yellow handout, followed by golden chain 1, or golden chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book, or page 15 in the big book under golden chain 1.
I'm a link in the golden chain. Harmony may we all attain. Gentle to all living things, will unite us all as golden rings. I'm a link in the golden chain. Gratitude may we all attain. Bright and strong my link will grow, through pure and loving things I know. Pure and beautiful thoughts I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you. Spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light.
The golden chain. I am
a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Rinban Sakamoto.
Good morning. Welcome back to Dharma School. It's good to see all of you here. It's kind of busy out there, so all the more to see you here in our Hondo once again for our Dharma School. It's wonderful to see all of you here. Being in the Hondo is, in a way, it's special. I mean, there's only one Hondo that we have here at the Betsuing. And so when we come here, it is kind of special. But what we learn here, what we practice here in the Hondo, we carry it with us no matter where you are. So some of us are watching this video over YouTube and watching maybe at home because maybe they weren't able to come here this morning. Maybe some will be watching this video a couple days from now because maybe this morning they were unable to view it at this time. So there are different ways in which we can participate in our services on Sunday, but being here in the Hondo is something special. It's only one Hondo, one place where we can gather together to listen to the teachings of the Buddha together. The teachings of the Buddha, of course, are really very simple. It's how do we recognize how deeply connected we are with the world around us. That our lives are supported and cared for by the life that surrounds us, that we are all a part of. In Buddhism, we call that life infinite life, or compassion. Infinite life is compassion. We see two things, well, there are many things in our Onaijing, but two of the main things that are in the Onaijing is a candle, and there are four things actually. The candle, flower, incense, and Amida Buddha. Amida Buddha has two hand symbols, mudras, the raised hand and the lowered hand. This symbolizes wisdom, infinite light, and this lowered hand, infinite life, compassion. These are the two main ideas, experiences in Buddhism, wisdom and compassion. Compassion, again, is this infinite life that we are connected with, that joins us, that brings us together, that we are surrounded by. Not just by those who are here in the Hondo, but those who are watching from elsewhere through the internet, and those who might be able to view this at some later time. And not only them, but all the life that surrounds us, all of the people, all of the life that makes our lives possible. When we come to the temple, we learn about the teachings of the Buddha. And this is one of the main things that Buddhism reminds us, how deeply connected we are to all life. And with that understanding, as we begin to recognize and see how connected we are to the life, how our lives are possible because of the lives that surround us, we can begin to hopefully have a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what we are able to enjoy. And that in that, through that appreciation, a sense of gratitude for all of the life that makes our lives possible. And so that we too can respond in compassion, in kindness. And we can treat the world and the people around us with kindness and compassion. That we can live our lives with a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation that for all that makes our lives possible. And we are reminded today, as we gather together in this Hondo for this first day of Dharma school, of how much what we experience, what we're able to do, is because of the lives that surround us. In Jodo Shinshu, we simply respond and we say, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu for all that makes our lives possible. Namo Amida Butsu for the assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for the enlightenment of all beings. Today, it was a bit of a challenge, maybe coming to the Hondo. You had to drive through via Calais. You had to negotiate, maybe wake up earlier than you would normally have awoken on a Sunday morning to be here. And thank you very much to all of you for being here this morning for this first Dharma School service and first day of Dharma School here at the Bitsing. Thank you very much, everyone. There is something that I'd like to draw your attention to. This is a project by a silver award project for one of our Girl Scouts. That not every pew has one, but especially the front one. See, so if you sit in the back, you miss out. Sorry. I think I wasn't able to distribute to the last maybe 4 rows. But it's a introduction to Gassho, how you do Oshoko, why you do Gassho, how you do Oshoko, why we do Oshoko. And so if you get a chance, take a look at this. This was a project by Kalea Iwamoto, who is one of our Girl Scouts here at the Bitswing. The other thing I'd like to draw your attention to, and you'll see this when you go over to Organization Day, but as some of you may know or may have heard, that Mikami Sensei has been with us since not that long, since 2019. Mikami Sensei has been part of our staff, and she is here on a visa because her home, well, not her home, but she comes from Japan to serve us here in the BCA. And when you come from a country to enter the United States, you have to have a visa that our government issues to the person coming to the country. Because of a change in the policy, the visa policy, Mikami Sensei may not be able to renew her visa in April of next year. So that means Mikami Sensei will have to go back to Japan and maybe be away for as long as a year. We're trying to work to encourage our representative, Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, to see if she can help us to keep Mikami Sensei here here in San Jose. So I put together a petition. We've had conversations with Congresswoman Lofgren's office, and we've sent letters to Congresswoman's office and also to Representative Rokana and Representative Anna Eshu's offices. But we'd like to follow this up with signatures that would support Mikami Sensei. So when you go over to Organization Day, you'll be able to see this. It's not really a petition, but it's really a show of support for Mikami Sensei. And if you would sign this, if you'd like to sign this and help Mikami Sensei, then we'll gather these signatures together and then send it on to Representative Lofgren's office. It's really unfortunate. It's not through any fault of the Betsing or the BCA, or certainly not Mikami Sensei, but a policy change took place, and we found out about it only through when our immigration attorney learned about it and informed us of this policy change that would prevent Mikami Sensei from renewing her visa. So we're trying everything that we can, and hopefully we'll be able to avert this, really catastrophe for us here at the Betsing, where Mikami Sensei would have to leave us in April of next year. So if you get a chance, take a look at this, and please put your signature. There's no age requirement on this, so even Dharma school students, go ahead and please sign it. And if we would gather as many of signatures as possible, then I think we could show our support to the Congresswoman's office that we are indeed very much would like to have Mikami Sensei stay with us at San Jose Betsing. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto. We will now have Gatha Sayonara on page 103, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book, or page 15 in the big book.
Tanoshiku kyou mo sumimashita. Yasashi miyoya ni mamorarete. Ureshii o uchi e kaerimashou. Sayonara minasan. Sayonara sensei o daiji ni. Tanoshii kondo no tsunoi made.
The promise. We thank
the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Mr. Jones, Mr. Akazuki, Mrs. Tanabe, and to musician Michael Yoshihara. Are there any announcements?
before we begin all our announcements, I wanted to introduce to you, some of you may not know, but our minister assistants and Mikami Sensei. So Mikami Sensei, we know from, and then Michael Jones, Dennis Akizuki, and Sumi Tanabe. These are our minister assistants. You may have noticed that this morning, Michael was the chosho, so he led sutra chanting this morning. He is preparing to go to Japan in December of this year, so in a couple of months, 3 months, to undergo tokudo, or the ordination, entering the priesthood of Jodo Shinshu Nishihonganji. So during the summer, he's been practicing chosho, practicing with Mikame Sensei the things that he has to memorize. When he goes through tokudo, it's a 10-day retreat, and at Nishiyama Betsuing, and so he's preparing for that, and so he was chosho for this morning. But without the minister assistants, and certainly without Mikami Sensei, we would not be able to do many of the things that we are able to enjoy here at the Betsuing. So with their support, with their continued involvement, practice here at the Betsuing, we'll be able to continue to move forward. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Randy Cow, one of the Troop 611 Boy Scout Assistant Scoutmasters. Boy Scouts is having our biannual e-waste event on October 21st from 9 to 3. There's a flyer in the back, so if you were about what is accepted and not accepted, so just giving the plug again. So it's about like over a month away from now, so just as a heads up. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm May Kawamoto. I'm the Dharma School Superintendent. Welcome back to Dharma School. All right. Good to see everyone. I just wanted, hopefully it's a short message, just wanted to let everyone know what classrooms you're in. Those of you who are returning, same classrooms. For those of you who are new, preschool is, well, all classes are across the street in the two-story classroom building. Preschool is downstairs in the Lotus building, the Lotus classroom. It's the door with the beautiful mural on the front, and we'll make sure that people can direct you to the correct classroom. First grade is in room 26 upstairs. Second and third grade 29. These are all upstairs. Fourth grade is in room 28. Fifth and sixth grade, room 21, and then seventh and eighth grade, room 23 and 22, and then high school is in Little Chapel. And I failed to mention the teachers' names. Okay, so preschool, we have Arlene Mori, who's in the back, and Erika Tsukimura. And then first grade, we have Alan Kondo and Julie Suyoshi. Thank you. Second and third grade, Linda Ichinaga and Kimiko Rodriguez. Fourth grade, Kathy Pike. Okay. Fifth and sixth grade, Donna Bussey and Patty Kaneda. Seventh and eighth, Ed Nodohara. I don't know if they're all here. And then high school, Mas Nishimura. And then I just wanted to point out a few names here. So the Dharma School Parent Organization chairs are, again this year, Tori Sakurai and Krista Mizusaki. And then we have our service chairperson coordinators. We have Nancy Auchi from last year, but this year we have a new group, Chris Yamada, Mark Hamada, and Brad Ide graciously agreed to help with that. And then we have our great person behind the scenes, Lisa, I hope you're online, Lisa Kobayashi, who's sending you coordination emails from Google. So thank you so much. And then come see me at the Organization Day table if you have any questions or if you need to register. So come by and say hello. Thank you.
I just want to follow up. So yeah, remind everyone that we do have what we call Organization Day. The first day of Dharma School, we have this opportunity. So all the different organizations, or most of the different organizations within the Betsuin have a table, and they can answer questions, and it's an opportunity for you to go see what kind of things that the Betsuin offers. All kinds of programs, from different scouting programs, Eco Sangha, there's all the singing, the choir, and all these kinds of issues. kinds of things that you may want to take a look at, and hopefully you'll be able to participate. The other thing we have is a table for what we call the Dharma Center fundraising, that we're trying to raise money for this building that we're going to be building. But along with that table, we have this opportunity to, I don't know if you noticed in the garden, we have all these hanging, I don't know what you call them, hanging paper, and it's beautiful. It makes the garden look beautiful, but that started a few weeks ago. We had a fundraiser here, and that started there. Janice Oda had this really interesting idea. It's an opportunity for people to go, and it's just to remember your family, past maybe family members who've passed, your grandparents, and so we're just asking people to write their names, the names of those people on, and then we're hanging it in the garden. And it came out beautiful, and hopefully you guys get a chance to go do that. And it's just an opportunity to remember your family. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm just here to thank everyone who supported the Lahaina Plate fundraiser that occurred last Sunday. We just barely announced it a week prior to that, and the response was overwhelming. We were hoping to sell 200 plate lunches. We had to cap it at 400. So thank you to the crew that ran it. That was Gwen Osso and her able lieutenants, her dad, Greg, and her niece, Deborah. They managed to get crews together to do everything. Thank you to the Boy Scouts who helped distribute the plate lunches and lots of other people that helped. There's too many to name, and I would forget some anyway. So on behalf of Gwen, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. You know who I am now. So, I thank you for bearing with me, because as I learn, I get feedback from Mikame Sensei and Rinban, and so you get to experience the next version of my thinking. I know what I'm doing up here. So you might have noticed that Sambujo was much slower this time. It probably needs to get even slower, but that's me trying to rush it. But in any case, a couple of other things. One is we're starting up our Dharma study class again. So starting next Tuesday, the 12th, at 7 p.m. on Zoom, we have our first session. So we meet on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 7 p.m. over Zoom. And the topics vary, but we hope to have some, a little bit of reading and then some good discussion. So if you care to join us, let us know. There's no admission fee or anything like that, and the topics range all over the place. There's no level of understanding of Buddhism required. You can come in at any level, and hopefully the conversation will make some sense. The other announcement I made last week, but on October 14th, we're having an LGBTQ+ awareness and acceptance event that's sponsored by the Minamoto Group, and we're going to be showing A Profound Silence, which is a film done by the Gardena Buddhist Church's Ichimi group. And this is a wonderful film that it's a relatively short film, but it's a wonderful film. It gives background in LGBTQ, in the Asian American and Japanese American experience, and so on. And then we'll have a discussion and some workshops. So we've got some folks from Ichimi coming up from Southern California to help lead the workshops. You'll see the flyers. You can use the QR code to bring up the Eventbrite. It's $10 per person. And if that's a hardship, just let me know. We can do something about that. But again, it's from 1 to 4 on that Saturday. So all the information's there. It's in the Eventbrite information as well. And if you have any questions, you can see me or see Elaine Jones as well. Thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or you are welcome to stop by the Open Door Cafe tent outside in front of the garden. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
my minute? Couple minutes. Yeah, okay.
Oh. So the tempo was okay?
Real opportunity for me to Kansho to relax. Not David. And for some reason, Michael has a more important thing to do. Okay, let's start.
Good morning. My name is Larry Honda, and I'll be chairing today's service. Before we begin the service, just a reminder that there's no food or drinks allowed in here, and please turn your cell phones off or in silent mode. Do we have anybody who's never been here before? No? Okay. All right. So we will begin today's service with Sambujo, which is on page 24 of the large Dharma, large book. And then we'll have Sutra Chanting Juseige, which is on page 93 in the large service book. or page 23 in the smaller Dharma School service book. Would you please rise for Gatha Shinshu Shuka? This is on page 216 in the large service book and page 88 in the Dharma School service book. Then please remain standing for the recitation of the three treasures, which is on page 3 of the small Dharma School service book.
Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves a supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of thy doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated. The following is from one of the letters that are attributed to that Daniel wrote, and it's called the Ryogemon, which is a letter that has been read for several hundred years, but now there is some question or debate about whether we change this Ryogemon to a new Ryogemon that has been introduced. But its translation reads, "We rely upon Tathagata with our whole heart for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our powerless self. We believe that the assurance of our rebirth comes at the very moment we entrust and recall the name Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and thankfulness. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and the succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching, and we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Welcome back to those of you who have been absent during our summer. I know during the summer there are so many things that go on, and our attention is drawn elsewhere, but we also have the opportunity to view our services online, and for that we can kind of schedule our schedule around what's happening and observe and participate in our services when we can. And that's a real change in how we participate in services, a change that would not be possible without YouTube, without Zoom, and certainly without the internet. But it became necessary for us to do this at the beginning of the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, we were streaming our services. But with the pandemic, it became all the more important for us to be able to conduct these services online, so that even though we were unable to gather together in the Hondo, that we would be able to share in the Dharma remotely. And that practice for 2 years has really changed the way that we participate and that we practice, or that we engage ourselves with the teachings of the Buddha. Buddhism reminds us that everything is in a process of change, that nothing remains the same, not a matter of good or bad or right or wrong, but simply a condition of our lives, that change is taking place all the time. I know I've shared this before, but there was a hot dog vendor, and a customer approached him, and he said, the hot dog vendor said, "What would you like?" And the customer says, and above this, I guess the vendor had a sign that said, that he was, well, I guess he didn't. He was known as a Buddhist who was selling hot dogs. And so when the customer came up and he said, he told the vendor, he said, "Make me one with everything." Pretty good, huh? You're not even, I can't tell if you're smiling or not because you're all wearing masks. So the customer went up to the hot dog vendor, who was a Buddhist, and I said, the vendor says, what would you like? And the customer says, "Make me one with everything." And so the vendor makes a hot dog with everything on it, with ketchup. Ketchup is a bad thing on hot dog. I learned this when we went to Chicago for our ministers' meeting several years ago. And we went downtown and to the plaza. There's this big chrome installation, art installation that you can actually walk under. I forget what it's called, but it looks like a big bean. And there was a vendor there. Of course, I had to get a hot dog from the vendor. And so he said, okay, what would you like on it? I said, well, just ketchup on it. And he looked at me horrified. He said, ketchup? so when I put ketchup on it, he was still giving me the side eye. But so the hot dog vendor got out and put everything on, mustard and onions, relish. There used to be a hot dog place in Berkeley called Annie's, and we used to go to Annie's and get hot dogs there. Hot dog seems to be a kind of a ongoing theme in my life. In any case, so the hot dog vendor made this hot dog with everything on it and gave it to the customer. And hot dogs are $2, and so the customer gave him a $5, and he was waiting. He gave it the $5 to the vendor, and the longer he waited, he kept wondering what happened, right? So the customer he asked the vendor, he said, "Where's my change?" And the vendor said, "Change comes from within." That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But change occurs. Change happens all around us. I love that joke. I heard that. And I try not to use it too often, otherwise, yeah. You'll hear it again next week. By the way, before I forget, next week is Ohigan. Okay, so I forgot to mention in the Dharma school service, but they have to come anyway, regardless of whether they want to or not, they have to come. But next week is Ohigan service, so please remember. We have two guest speakers. Me and Mikama Sensei. We're going to be our guest speakers, so don't miss it. It'll be wonderful. You'll hear a joke from the Rinban about hot dogs again. But this Ryogenmon, we had been reading this Ryogenmon for maybe, I don't know, at least several hundred years, because Daniel had been writing these letters as a way of sharing the Dharma. He would write these letters to different people, and he would ask them to read them aloud, because not everyone was literate at that time. There were very few people. So they would gather together and listen to the letters that Daniel wrote and sent out to these gatherings. And they would listen to them being read. And this Ryogenmon, because of the content of the Ryogenmon, it's one of the letters that is regularly read. And it's kind of installed as a part of our, significant part of our tradition. And recently, I think it began earlier this year maybe, a new Ryogenmon was introduced. And this Ryogenmon was introduced by our Gomonshu. So that's his portrait. The Gomonshu's portrait is here. I guess it's several years old now. So he looks older now. Not decades, but it's been a few years since he became Gomonshu. But through his office, this new Ryogenmon was introduced. But it was, I guess it was discovered that this Ryogenmon really originated with one of the senior level, they're called a governor general, I think, within the structure of the Honganji. So this is a top level kind of administrator who had written this new Ryogenmon and had the Gomonshu. And they must have had a conversation, and maybe Gomonshu said, well, maybe we should think about the Ryogenmon. So this new Ryogenmon was introduced through the Gomonshu. But then there was a controversy that this Ryogenmon actually was kind of pushed forward by the Governor General, and he has since retired. So I don't think he was required to do seppuku, harakiri. So the controversy still kind of, I thought that the new Ryogemon, the recently introduced Ryogemon, was completely withdrawn, but there's some uncertainty about that because Michael is going to go to Tokudo in December of this year, so that's in a few months. He'll go to Kyoto and participate in a 10-day retreat. And in this retreat, they'll learn the practices and the rituals of Jodo Shinshu. And at the end of this retreat, he will undergo Tokudo, so ordination as a priest of the Honganji, Ha Honganji. That's our official title. We're Nishi Honganji, but our official title is Honganji, Ha Honganji. So Hawaii, you may notice that Hawaii is Honpa Honganji. That's how they refer to the Hawaii district, Honpa Honganji. But Honpa is conjugated, shortened, smooshed together, Honganji, Ha Honganji. And Michael will have to undergo this training at Nishiyama Betsuin. And that's why Michael has been the doshi for a chosho for our services for the past few weeks now. It's been a few weeks trying to kind of get some experience so that when he goes to Kyoto, he'll at least feel somewhat comfortable in that position. There are a lot of other things that he'll need to learn and be familiar with that Mikami Sensei has been working with him so that going into Tokudo, he'll be able to fully take in what he will be experiencing. When I went to Tokudo, my preparation wasn't very much, not to the fault of the Hawaii Kyodan, but there wasn't really any program that I was the only one going out of Hawaii to this Tokudo. There were other aspirants who were coming from here. So people like Reverend Okamoto, retired now out of Denver, Reverend Kobata, who was last assigned to the San Francisco Buddhist Temple, who is also, all of these guys are retiring. But, Ron Miyamura, thank you very much. Was he there? I think it was, Oshita. Oshita was the Reverend Oshita of Sakamoto from the BCA had gone, and they had gone, actually studied prior to going to ordination, where they went through the Institute of Buddhist Studies and they completed their studies. So they asked me if I had studied Jodo Shinshu. I said, well, my degree at the University of Hawaii was liberal studies, which means you make up your own, basically, degree. And so liberal studies, Buddhism. My last 2 years at the University of Hawaii was studying Buddhism. So he said, okay, that'll qualify. You can come in. And so Reverend Kamo Imamura was bishop at that time. And he would invite me to participate. And I didn't really know sutra chanting at that time. And so I kind of hung out in the back by the organ room and kind of quietly participated in the services. Then when we went to Tokudo in Kyoto, I was able to go through the various practices, and I was pleased to know Reverend Fujitani was bishop by that time. He said, oh, you went through with flying colors. I don't know what that meant, but apparently I passed. So, Michael, I'm sure you do much better than I did. One of the things that I could do at that time, which I cannot do now, is sit seiza. So sit with my, oh man. Yeah, my excuse is that I have a bad knee, so I cannot sit seiza. So they had, I could sit seiza, and some of the others could sit seiza, but for those who are unable to, they were allowed to sit in the back and sit kind of cross-legged. But one of the things that right now you still have to do is memorize this Ryōgenmo. And we were talking about it this morning, and it's not clear which one Michael will have to memorize. Although Michael has already memorized the original Ryōgenmo. And I like this one. Moro-moro no zōgyō zashu jiriki no kokoro o furusete. So it's to throw away, this, how do you translate this? Sundry practices and teachings, and wholeheartedly rely on Amida Buddha. So this is commitment to our practice, our teachings, to so it's a statement of what Jodo Shinshu is about. I've read the new Ryōgenmo. It's not, well, because I'm more familiar with this Ryōgenmo, it doesn't seem as powerful as, it will take time if the new one is, but it's still not clear whether or not it's the new Ryōgenmo or the old one that Michael will have to remember. But it's this idea, everything, of course, changes. Nothing remains the same. In our tradition, what is it that we should have at the core that does not change? That, of course, is no matter what language we use, no matter what our practices may be like, at the core of Jodo Shinshu is this relationship with Amida Buddha. And at the core of the teachings of the Buddha is that we are able to be free of the difficulties that we cause and experience. And in Jodo Shinshu, Amida Buddha assures that, provides that assurance for us who are unable to do that on our own. That we have confusion and uncertainty in our lives, although we may appear to be quite certain in our practice and our understanding. The assumption in Jodo Shinshu is that we don't know. And so the idea of Nishujinshi is really important. Nishujinshi is these two aspects of deep faith. One is that I recognize that I'm absolutely incapable of enlightenment, absolutely cut off from enlightenment. And the other of these two aspects of deep faith is an absolute assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for the enlightenment of all beings. So these kind of contradictory but complementary ways of seeing the world, right? That I am absolutely incapable of cultivating the mind of enlightenment. And the assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for that enlightenment. That allows me to look at myself more openly. It allows me to see myself and all of my inconsistencies and imperfections, knowing that no matter who I am, what I do, no matter how I might conduct myself, that I will make errors and I will be inconsistent. No matter what happens, Amida Buddha is there. The assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for the enlightenment of this being. That allows me again to look more openly, to begin to see things as they are, to begin to see my own imperfections, my own limitations. We like to present ourselves as someone that is assured, someone that I know what I'm doing, that I am capable of doing these things. But Amida's assurance allows us to remind ourselves that we are inconsistent and that we can begin to approach our life not through what I can do, but how I am supported by the life around me. That no matter what my limitations may be, that I am assured of the eventual resolution of difficulties. And so, in this Ryōgenmo, Daniel writes, we rely upon Tathagata Amitabha with our whole heart for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings and giving up our trust in our powerless self. We believe that the assurance of our rebirth comes at the very moment we entrust and recall the name Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and thankfulness. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and the succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching. And we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Jodo Shinshu, Buddhism, is very simple. It is about the resolution of difficulties. It is about enlightenment. And in Jodo Shinshu, we understand that we are assured of that through Amida Buddha. That no matter what happens, I am assured, I am able to resolve the difficulties that I cause and experience. Thank you very much for your attention. There's a couple things that I wanted to also discuss or present. One is this. You see, you guys all sit in the back, right? So you miss out. It's only the people in the front that get to see this. But one of our scouts, our Girl Scouts, Kalea Iwamoto, who is for her Silver Award, made this, and it's a kind of information sheet for Oshoko and for visitors to be able to kind of take a look at this and become more familiar with some of the practices that we have here at the Betsuin Jodo Shinshu. The other thing that I'd like to ask is, some of you may know now that Reverend Mikame, when she arrived in 2019, she arrived on a visa that's going to need to be renewed in April of next year. So it's a 5-year visa, and next year she would normally be able to renew that visa. However, in the past few months, we were informed that there was a change in policy. A priority date had been changed that put Mikame Sensei outside of the time frame that would allow her to renew her visa. So currently, if nothing changes, Mikame Sensei's visa will expire in April of 2024, and she will need to return to Japan and remain out of country for at least a year. So we have been working with Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren's office. We've talked with the office and then sent a letter that's being reviewed and considered. We've not heard back from them. We've also sent follow-up letters to Rokana's office and Aeshu's office. But at our last board meeting, we thought, well, maybe we can begin to send signatures, support for Mikame Sensei. So there is a kind of a sign-up sheet that if you would like to, we'll collect signatures for and send them on to Lofgren's office. It's not certain at this point. It's really not certain whether Mikame Sensei will be able to remain here in San Jose once her visa expires. She may have to return to Japan for at least a year, and we would be in dire straits were that to happen. So if you can, take a look at this. It's not really a petition. It's more of a kind of a support for Mikame Sensei. Please, if you agree, if you would please sign that. Last thing, did I mention Ohigan next week? Ohigan, okay. The other thing I want to recognize, Mikame Sensei, of course, is our second minister here at the Betsuin. And then we also have 3 minister assistants, Michael Jones, Dennis Akizuki, and Sumi Tanabe, who have been extremely important in what we do here at the Betsuin. And although some ministers retire and they go into retirement quietly and they kind of sit back in the last pew trying to be nobody noticed that I'm here quietly. But we know you're back there. So, and we know that you're also very engaged in the BCA on the national level. So Reverend Kenji Akahoshi has retired and returned to San Jose, and he continues to do his work. He is one of the, it's called a pillar in the joint JCOD, Joint Committee on Development. I think, is that what it is? And so both Akoi Sensei and his wife Karen, good to see both of you, and nice to see you in the Hondo again. So we have many resources here that we'd like to continue to move forward with, and certainly our future, a lot of our future depends on a minister like Mikami Sensei, who brings with her a wealth of information and experience that we all benefit from. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rinban, for the Dharma talk, and don't quit your day job after that joke. I think the only thing worse than a religious joke is the math jokes I used to give when
He was a math teacher.
I was a math instructor for
math
39
jokes.
years. So
I don't even know, not a math joke, but March the 14th,
Pi Day.
Pi Day. March 14th, Pi Day? Do you know Pi Day? So, 314, right? 3.1415 something
Nine.
infinitely. You probably know up to 20 digits, but okay, so that's it. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on. Whoa, got to get my bearings now. Okay, we will now have Gatha Ondokusan II, which is on page 220 in the large service book, or page 76 in the small Dharma School service book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
Are there any announcements?
Hello again. Just a couple of things. Well, first of all, as Rinban mentioned, thank you for being my guinea pigs as I work through trying to lead the services and lead the chanting and so on, and try to follow Mikami Sensei's instructions as to how to do it better. We're starting our Dharma study class again on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. over Zoom. If you're not on the list now, just let me know and I can put you on the list. But we hope that these can be both discussions as well as a little bit of reading ahead of time to get you a mindset of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to start talking this Tuesday. The subject matter will be based on a Dharma message I gave a couple of weeks ago called A Life Worth Living, and how we tie that into Jodo Shinshu. So that's coming up, and we meet the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month at 7 p.m. over Zoom. The next thing is you'll see flyers like this in the back and over at the organization day. Mina Nomura, our Village for Everyone group, is sponsoring a LGBT awareness and acceptance session on October 14th from 1 to 5 in the annex. It's $10 per person. We'll be showing a film called A Profound Silence. And this film was produced by the Gardena Buddhist Temple with their Ichimi group. And it's a wonderful film. Some members of the Ichimi group will be coming up from Gardena to help us with the workshops and so on. And we hope to have a very productive day, some great discussions and so on. And so if you can join us, it's $10 per person. But if that fee is a burden, just let us know and we can make accommodations. So again, if you just follow the QR code, and if you don't know what that means, see me, I'll let you know. I made sure it worked this morning, so any confusion over how to use a QR code, just come up and see me. All right, thank you.
First thing, Rinban, everyone knows it's mustard with hot dogs. At least I thought everyone knew that, maybe not. Couple things. One is just a reminder that on Saturday, October 21st, the Boy Scouts will having their semi-annual e-waste. So you've got like a month. If you have some old electronic stuff, please start saving it up, and we'll be collecting that on Saturday, October 21st. The other thing today, for especially many of you who are new, we have what we call our annual organization day in the gym. So it's an opportunity we have a table set up for all the different organizations within the Betsuin. So take a look around. See, there's a lot of stuff for kids, but there's also a lot of other interesting things, like we have a Dana Club, we have a Sangha Support Club, lots of other opportunities to participate and be a part of this community. So hopefully we'll see you there. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's also a table, as many of you know, we've been trying to raise funds for our new Dharma Center across the street. So we have our table there, which has information, has some artist renderings of what the new building will look like. But we also have we have a table where if you had the opportunity, hopefully, if you noticed outside in our garden, across the garden we have all these hanging paper, I don't know what you call them, but it's really beautiful. And it started a couple weeks ago. It came up for one of our fundraisers where it's just an opportunity for you to kind of remember maybe past family members, people who've passed. And so we're just asking you to just write their names down on this piece of paper, and then we hang it up over the garden. They've been up now for a couple of weeks. We'll keep them up there until weather takes them down. But I think it's just a good opportunity for you to try to remember some past family members. It's a good opportunity. Thank you.
A couple other announcements. The Boy Scouts are doing their annual popcorn sales out in front, so if you can, please support them there. And then right next to that, to the left of that, I think Emi Tsutsumi is manning a table there for Open Door Cafe, but also she has one of those sign-up sheets to support Reverend Mikame there. I signed it earlier, so that's why I know it's there. So if you have time, please do that. A week from today is Ohikan service, as Rinban mentioned. We also have our annual Keito Kai event where we honor our elders that are 80 and over. Today is the last day to sign up for that, but this is just a reminder for those who have signed up that that's occurring after service next week. Let's see, what else do I have on this list? Oh, and then I'm representing Gwen Aso and her crew who did the Lahaina Plate fundraiser last week. We put that together in like a week or two, and we want to thank you for all the crazy support. As I mentioned at the 9:30 service, we were hoping to sell about 200 plate lunches. We zoomed past that in 3 days, and we ended up having to cap it at 400 because we didn't think we could handle any more, quite frankly. So thank you to Gwen and her trusty aides, her niece Deborah and her father Greg, her brother Greg, Gwen's brother Greg, for chairing this event. This all came about because this was Gwen's idea. After the Maui wildfire disaster, Gwen came up to me and asked, I'd like to do something to raise funds for them. And so she came up with this, and she actually originally wanted to do it like 5 days after she talked to me, and I convinced her to wait another week because there was no way I didn't think we could put this together. In fact, we put it together in less than 2 weeks. It's amazing. So thank you to all the Sangha members who helped out, from the Boy Scouts who helped deliver the lunches to the curb, to all these other people who helped put it together. So thank you. So thank you to our ministers, Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, our minister assistants, Denisaki Izuki, Michael Jones, and Sumi Tanabe. Thank you to our musician today, the awesome Michael Yoshihara. And thank you to our, Rinban often mentions that this gets sent out. In fact, some of you who are watching online, either live or on tape delay on YouTube, this is not possible with our tech support team. And so today's tech support member is Kevin Kitagawa. So thank you, Kevin. And then thank all of you, of course, for coming to today's service. We will now have closing Kansho by Rinban Sakamoto. And after that, please come forward for incense offering.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you, everyone. Please come up for Oshoku. Thank you, Larry.
I stay here because many years ago you gave a Sunday Dharma talk about Chicago barbecue. Yeah, that's some reason.
So,
借りしていいですか？はい、thank you. これ、I'll like explain about this. Yeah, to the Japanese speaking people. はい、ありがとうございます。おはようございます。Good morning. How are you? Good to see you.
Thanks, you, Larry.
Sorry, I had to give a little deeper.
Absolutely.
Well, Rinban's been digging at me.
Well, you know what happens. You start it all the time.
That's what you get. You need to double my salary. Thank you.
First time. This is my first time got to Kansho 3 times on a Sunday. Well, you can do it too. Offer the opportunity to you.
おはようございます。本日も三の瀬別院の日本語講座にお参りくださいましてありがとうございます。外はなんだかちょっと賑やかですね。じゃあまた後でちょっと扉を閉めますのですみません。今日はねダルマスクール、小さな子どもたち、保育園ぐらいからね高校生ぐらいの子たちのダルマスクールの最初の日でもありますし、ストリートをブロックしてビバカエというかないうなんかね自転車の
こうフェスティバルというかね、そういうので賑やかですし、お寺のねアネックスビルディングではオーガニゼーションデーといっていろんなこうねこのグループについてのこのなんていう説明会みたいなのをしててね、ちょっと本当にいろんなことが起こっているようなことでありますけども、またご一緒にお参りさせていただければと思います。はい、いつものような感じでお勤めをねさせていただきます。こちらの大きなパープルブックのね24ページの三部条、これですね、日本語でしたら25ページですけれども、こちらを最初にお勤めして、そのまま同じ本で、90確か94とかですかね、93でしたね、じゅうせいげをお務めさせていただきますので、よければご一緒にお参りください。ご一緒に合唱お願いいたします。合唱念仏申します。ナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウスナマンダウス。礼拝、頭を下げてください。 ありがとうございます。そうしましたら続けて、三帰依文ですね、ご唱和させていただきます。来三門三帰依文ですね。こちらの大きなブックの7ページにございます。ご一緒に、ご唱和ください。皆さんは英宗一度のところからお願いいたします。来三門三帰依文。人参受けがたし、今すでに行く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば。さらにいずれの章に向かってか、好みをどせん。大衆もろともに、死神に参謀に帰依し奉るべし。自ら仏に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに、大道を大義して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに、深く胸像に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに、大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも相合うことかたし、我今検問し授事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を下し奉らん。ナマンダーウツナンマンダーウツナンマンダーウツナンマンダーウツ。はい、ありがとうございます。そうしましたら少しね、お話しさせていただきます。ちょっと待っててくださいね。こちらのいつも通りにちょっとホワイトボードでもし漢字とか出てきたら書いてみたいと思います。はい、大丈夫かな？はい、大丈夫でしょうかね。よし、はい、いきます。はい、皆さんようこそお参りくださいました。ごめんなさい。ちょっと不安定ですね。ごめんなさいね。びっくりさせました。これすいません。わかりました。すいません。これで maybe ちょっと短いけど大丈夫。いいかな？すいません。見えますでしょうか？まあ大丈夫かな。ごめんなさい。失礼いたしました。はい。こういうこともありますからね。人生いろんなことがありますから。はい。先週は日本の京都から、佐木先生という方がゲストスピーカーで来てくださいまして、日本語じゃないですね、英語でお話をねしてくださいました。現実と幻想の間、スペースシャトルの間でっていう題でね、ご自身なんか綺麗なね題名ですけどね、そのテーマでお話をしてくださいました。もし見逃された方は、もしねよろしかったら三の図別院の YouTube チャンネルで、はい、先週のものがアーカイブで上がってますので、ぜひご覧いただければと思います。佐々木先生がねお話ししてくださったことを自分なりに聞かせてもらったらとしたらですね、人間の知恵の世界との限界というか、そしてあと仏様の知恵の世界の広がりというところの違いをねお話ししてくださったかなっていうふうにね思います。今日はそういう感じのところをねお話ししたいと思うんですけどね、ところで皆さん最近になってちょっとずつ、まだまだ暑いですけども、はい、この夏ですね、桜の木は見られましたでしょうか？桜の木ね、そう私はね見てなかったですね実はもう全然見てなかったですけどもね、これどこで聞いたこのクエスチョンをですね聞いたのは築地本願寺でね、毎週法話やってますけども、その中の先生がお話しされてたことでした。法話のね最初に「皆さんこの夏桜見られましたか？」ってね、質問されて、皆さんポカーンとされてました。私みたいな感じでね。そしたらねその質問 ていうのがですね、その先生大阪から来られてるわけなんですけども、夏の桜をめぐってこんなことがあったんですよってお話をしてくださいました。その先生大阪で結構ね、春になると桜並木がすごくきれいにね、きれいなところでね、生まれ育ったようでして、お寺もその近くにあるそうでして、はい、である夏、こんな感じのね暑い夏だったと思うんですね。夏ですから桜なんて咲いていませんけれども、その先生がねお寺の外をちょっと散歩されていた時に、桜、その夏の桜といったら今みたいに青葉がね生い茂ってますけど、その桜をこうねじっくり見ていらっしゃるご年配の方がいらっしゃったんだそうです。こうやってじっと見てらっしゃる。その方はその先生の娘さんの通っていらっしゃった小学校の元校長先生だったんだそうですけども、こうやってねじっと見てらっしゃって、でね、その先生は気になって「一体何を見てらっしゃるんですか?」って聞かれたんだそうです。そしたらね、その元校長先生はこんなふうに「桜を見てるんですよ」っていうふうにおっしゃったんですね。そうですけれども、じゃあ桜の一体何を見てるんでしょうかって言ったら、桜を見てるんですよっていうふうにね、なんかおかしな感じのね会話が続いたわけなんですけれども、で逆に校長先生がその先生に向かってね質問されました。先生、あなたは桜はいつご覧になられますかっていうふうにね質問されました。でその先生答えられます。私は桜がね満開になる春頃、4月3月頃に見ますかねっていうふうにおっしゃったんだそうです。そしたらね、その先生おっしゃいました。そうですか、春もとっても綺麗ですけれどもね、今この夏の桜もね、秋に向けてこうしっかり今自分の夏の命をしっかりと生きているんですよっていうふうに教えてくれたんです。この葉っぱを生い茂らして、そして秋になったら葉を散らして、次の春に向かって一生懸命生きてる、そういう桜なんですよ、ね、夏の桜もいいもんでしょうっていうふうにお話しされた。その話聞いててね、私わーっていうふうに思いましたね。今まで夏の桜なんてね見るに値しないものだっていうふうにね勝手に思ってた自分がいたなっていうふうに思いました、ね、私たちどこか物事に今見るに値しないものとか見るに値するものね、桜はもうそのものですよね。春こそ桜だって、夏なんて桜なんて見るもんじゃないっていうふうに勝手に思ってますけども、桜もね夏を今の瞬間をねしっかり生きている、そういう命なんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います、ね。この私たちなんだか一つの命をね勝手に自分の価値観で分別してしまうっていうところがあると思います。分別っていうのはね、何回もこのご法話で触れてきましたけども、見えるかな、分けるっていうことですよね。見えますですかね、大丈夫ですかね。そう人間の知恵の世界というのは物事を分けていく、私のこの視点でいい悪いとかね、なんかねそういう感じで分けていく世界だと思うんですけども、逆にその校長先生がねおっしゃったこの桜の命、春だけじゃなくって秋も夏もね冬だって、ずっと尊い命を生きてるんですよっていうふうに、いい時期とか悪い時期、見るに値する時期と見るに値する時期を分けない、そういうね眼差しっていうのをね、仏様の眼差しで無分別というふうにね言います。何でもね出てきたかもしれません。これに分別に無をつけて無分別って言いますね。分別するものがないっていうことです。もともとは一つの命であるのに、これを無理やり分けるから、分け隔てすることから苦しみを作り出しているんですよっていうふうに教えてくださっているのが仏様でありますね。 分けられない命をわざわざこう私たちは分別して分けて、区別して生きている。これは私たちの多分癖なんでしょうね。ですからね、一つのもの、もともと一つだったものを分けてる。そうね、ちょっと待ってくださいよ。例えば、待ってください。漢字忘れちゃった。これで合ってるかな。はい。一つの命、ね、若い命と老いている命っていうふうにね分けたりすることありますよね。芸能人の姿とか見た時ね、あの人なんか前より老けたんじゃないのとかね、勝手に会ったことないのにこう言ったりねしますけれどもね、若いとこう老いの境ってねどこにあるんでしょうかね。分かりませんけれども、リタイアしたら老いていく方として見るんでしょうか、それとも年金もらい始めたら何ですかね、どうなんですかね。それでも60代の方でもリタイアされても現役の方もまだまだいらっしゃいますし、日本では75歳が後期高齢者っていうふうに言われていますけどもね、まだまだ元気な方いらっしゃいます。だからね、一体どこに境目があるんでしょうかね。不思議でありますけれども、もう一つありますね。一つの命を分ける、ちっちゃくなっていったらごめんなさい。健康と、ね、一つの命を健康と病っていうふうにもね分けていく私じゃないかなっていうふうにも思います。あの人は元気ねとか、あの人はなんかちょっと元気がなくて病気がちよねっていうふうにね言ったりしますけれども、病気とこの健康のね境目もどこにあるんでしょうかね。お医者さんがあなた病気ですよって言ったら病気になるんでしょうか。でもね、お医者さんは今のその状態をね私たちに教えてくださっているから、あなた風邪ですって言ったら風邪になるわけじゃないですよね。病気がちに見えても心は元気な方もいらっしゃいますし、元気に見えても心は病んでいらっしゃる方もいらっしゃいますから、一概には分別はできないことじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。だからこんなふうに一つの命を自分の物差しで分別していくから迷いを作っているんだよっていうふうに言います。迷いだよそれはって。迷いっていうのは漢字で書くと読めますか、ごめんなさい。生死とも言われます。これ生死って一般的には言われますけど、仏教語では生死っていうふうに読みます。生きている生まれてから死ぬまでの間ね、そして自分の分別を使って、こう分けていって苦しみを作り出しているだけじゃなくて、この人間として命恵まれる前もそうやって繰り返して生きてきたんだよっていうその私の生き方っていうかこそを生死っていうふうに、表していただきます。そしてね、私たちが分別分け隔てするときにね、みんな同じ物差しを持っているわけなんですね。それが私が好きか嫌いかっていうところだと思うんですけれども、こうやって分けてるものをまた私たちね分別するんです。この若いのと老いていくのどっちがいいですか？やっぱこっちですよね。丸×ってつけちゃうかもしれない。じゃあこっちだ、健康とこっちがいいですよね。勝手にね、丸×をつけてしまっている。そしたらね、私たちっていうのは好きな方しか取らないね。若い方がいいし健康がいい、ね、病気や、病っていうのは見えないように、ね、嫌なものは見えないようにするっていうふうにね、したがるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。ね、いつまでも私もね元気でいたいし若くいたいなっていうふうに思いますから、ちょっと聞くか分かりませんけど野菜ジュースをね毎日作って食べたり飲んだりですね、運動もちょっと頑張ってやったりするんですけどもね、やっぱりこれは私自身が健康だったり若いっていうのが方が好ましいって思ってるからそうしてるんじゃないですかね、やっぱりね。で好ましくない老いとか病っていうのを こう生活から見えなくしているのが私たちじゃないですかっていうふうにね、いろんな先生ご法話の中で教えてくださいます。本当は分けられない一つの命なのに、こうやって嫌だ、これが嫌だっていうふうにこう奥の方へ追いやってきたこと、でもいざそれらが私の身の上に起こった時に、私の気持ちとは反対に起こった時にね、やっぱり誰も変わってもらえないんだよなって、引き受けていかないといけないんだよなっていうふうにね思うんですよね。そうやって自分から自分で分別することによって苦しみを作り出していくのが私のやり方ですよっていうことなんです。その最たるものがこれだと思うんです。生死っていうところですね。生き死にっていうふうに生死っていうふうに読む時もありますけども、一般的生死ですよね。実はこの生死っていうのは分けられないものであるんですよね。実は私たち生きてるのが当たり前っていうふうに思ってて、そして死ぬのがめったになくてびっくりすることありますけど、本当はこの生死、この生き死にも一つに分けられないもの、二つに分けられないものだよっていうふうに教えてもらいます。ある先生がご法話の中でおっしゃってましたけども、あるね方が80代の男性が何としてでも長生きがしたくって死にたくないから、でも自分でね自分の力でどうにもならないから考え抜いて祈祷師さんに拝んでもらうことにしたんだそうです。でその祈祷師さんに何歳まで長生きしたいのって言われてね、じゃあ90歳までじゃあお願いしますって言って、分かりました、じゃあ90歳で命が終わるようにしてあげますねっていうふうにねしてで、いやちょっと命終わるとか言われたらちょっとなんかもうちょっと長生きしたい気がしますって言ってね、今度は100歳まででお願いしますって言ったんだそうです。分かりました、じゃあ100歳になったらぽっくりいくようにしてあげますねっていうふうにね言ってもらって祈祷しようかなってした時にね、やっぱりちょっとなんかね命終わるとかぽっくり終わるとかなんかちょっと納得いかないですっていうふうにおじさん、ね、80歳の方おっしゃったら、でも祈祷師さんこんなふうにおっしゃったんだそうです。100歳まで生きることと100歳で命終わる、100歳で死ぬっていうことは同じなんじゃないですかっていうふうにおっしゃいました、ね、同じことですよね。100歳まで生きると100歳で死ぬっていうね、で同じことを言い換えてるだけじゃないですかっていうふうにおっしゃった、ね、生きることばっかり言うけどもね、この命終わるね、やっぱり私たちは命終わっていくことが嫌なんですよね。離れていくのがやっぱり嫌です、でもこうやって一日一日生きるっていうことはまた一日一日命を終えていくことでもあるんですよね、命終わっていく世界っていうのが当たり前で、たまたま今ご縁をいただいて生きている私たちじゃないかなっていうところをね気づかせていただきました、だからこの生死のこの、ね、生きるの中にこういうね老いとか病とか健康とかが全部含まれているわけであって、ということはね、私たちの問題は、ね、いくら老いとか病とかねそういうのを遠ざけようと思って若さとか健康をね追い求めようとしても、やっぱりこの死っていうところが全部をもっていってしまってるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。だからこの死っていうところが解決しない限りにはね、どのように生きていってもこの死というのが最後私の人生を持っていってしまっているね。だからこの解決ができたこそやっぱり自分のこの人生をね生きていけることじゃないかなっていうふうに思うんですね。その解決を引き受けたぞっていうふうにおっしゃってるのが、真ん中にいらっしゃる阿弥陀如来様ですよって、あなたを人生を引き受けたよっていうふうにおっしゃっています。阿弥陀様はこの無分別の分け隔てない世界の仏様ですよっていうふうに言われます。私たちがいいとか悪いとか、年を取るとか病だとか、病気だとか健康だとか、そんなことで分け隔てて生きているけどもね、関係ないよって、私とあなたは一つの大きな命じゃないですかって いうふうにおっしゃってる、このお勤めの中で何遍も何遍も出てきます。何万打仏何万打仏と出てきますけども、あなたの方でこの命苦しんでるだけだよって、あなたをこれ以上苦しみのね命にはさせたくないから、どうか仏様のお浄土の世界にね、仏に生まれていく、生かせたいから、どうか私の願いをね受け取ってくださいよっていうふうに、何万打仏と唱えてくださいよっていうふうにね、願い同士でいてくださってるのが仏様です。だから何万打仏っていうのは仏様がね、どうかあなたのことを一りぼっちにはしないし、虚しい苦しみの命にはさせたくないから、どうか何万打仏私に頼ってくださいよって言ってくださっている、そのお声であります。私たちはね、分け隔てばっかりして自分だったり他人を傷つけながら生きる私でありますけども、分け隔てのないそういう仏の命に生まれさせますよ、何万打仏と私のところに今働いてくださっている。私にはね見えませんし、触れないし、遠く離れてるように感じるけれども、それは私からの見方で、仏様からしてみたらね、いつでも私とご一緒で、私に向かって働いてくださっている、そういう私が境目を作っているだけであって、仏様と私には仏様からは境目がなくて、共にいつも会ってくださる、そういう方でございます。仏様のね、阿弥陀様の、お働きのことをですね、私たちは船に、大きな船に例えて聞かせていただいています。その船に対して私たちっていうのはこの分別の見方を持って、自分でねこう大きな海でこう沈んでしまっている大きな岩ですよっていうふうに言われますけれども、でも私がどのような生き方をしていても、心にどんなことを抱えていてもね、いつ命は終わっていくかわからない、そういう生き方をしている私だからこそね、だからこそね、私を分け隔てなくね、そのままその大きな船に乗せてくださっているんですよ。何万打仏と聞こえているのは、今私たちはその大きな船にね、よいしょと乗せていただいている、そういう瞬間なんですよって聞かせていただきます。だからこの命ね、いつ終わっていったとしても、何万打仏の大きな仏様の船の上ですから、私たちはね、同じ港に向かって港にね着く用意がね、もうしっかりできているわけであります。だからね、この船の大きな船の上にもういるんだから、私たちすることはもうこの身をね任せるだけであるんですね。この大きな命の問題っていうところがね解決されているからこそ、私たちはね、この人生いろんなことあるかもしれないけども、自分なりにねこうドタバタジタバタしながらね生き抜かせていただくことができるかなっていうふうに思います。私ね、こう見えてすごい泣き虫なんですね。恥ずかしいですけども、大人になっても昔からね泣き虫ですけども、こんな大人になってもですね泣き虫であります。小さな頃からやっぱりね、人とね他人を比べてね、私なんでこんなこともできんのだろうかってね、劣等感を抱えながらいました。一生懸命頑張るんだけどね、思い通りにいかないようなね、で悔しい思いをしてはね、もう母にいつも泣きべそを書いてね、そういうふうにね泣きべそを書いてはこう母に話をしてはっていうふうに生きてきましたけども、今もねお恥ずかしながらこんな大人になってもね、たまにですけども母にね泣きべそを書くこともあります。きっとまあね、この、見えないけども私のように同じように分かんないですけども、自分と他人をね比べて苦しんだりで、思い通りにいかない現実に悔しい思いをしてね、そしてしんどい思いをこう抱えながらその日をね生きておられる方もねきっと多いんじゃないかなというふうに思います。その思いをねやっぱり世間を生きる中ではやっぱりひた隠しに心配させないようにするために隠しながら生きてるのがね私たちじゃないかなって思います。 私はねありがたいことにね母がいてくれますから、もうちょっともうどうにもならんって苦しい時はねやっぱり母と話すようにさせていただいてます。ありがたいことに私がどんなにこう他人と自分を比べてね落ち込んでも、自分自身を蔑んでも母は絶対に否定しません。こんな私がダメだからとかここがダメだからっていうふうにもね責めません。泣いてても怒っててもね私がねそういう状況であってもね受け止めて、くれるからね、私は安心して愚痴をこう言われるわけなんで、心を開いてねなんていうんですかね、安心して自分をさらけ出すことができるわけであります。やっぱり私たちというのはそういう人のこう前だとねやっぱり自分を飾らなくて、いいし自分らしくいれるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。アメリカに来て、一人で来ましたけれどもね、生活には少しずつ慣れましたけど、ふと夜中こう考え込んでどうしようもないなっていう時もあります、たまにね。で電話しようかなって思う時もあるんですけども、でもそういう時ってね時差がやっぱり日本とありますから、で向こうはねちょっと反対の時間を生きてますから、電話がつながらなかった時なんてやっぱり一人ぼっちなのかっていうふうにね、落ち込むこともあります。でもねそういう時、目が覚めてお家にあるお仏壇の前にね行って手をね合わせてみたんですね。何万ダブ何万ダブって言っていました。そしたら、そうだったなって思いました。また私一人で自分で分け隔てて苦しんでる私だったなっていうふうに思いました、ね。一人ぼっちだっていうふうに考えてても阿弥陀様は一人ぼっちにはさせないっていう、ね、二人ぼっちの私と仏様であったなっていうことをね思ったらね、なんかちょっとだけほっとしたというかね、少しだけ安心してまた眠りにつくことがねできたことがあります。お仏壇の前でこう手を合わせていただくご縁をね繰り返すたんびにね、やっぱりそうだったなそうだったなっていうふうに繰り返し思い出させていただくことができるかなっていうふうに思います。そう思えるのはこのお仏壇の前だけじゃありませんし、このお寺の本堂の仏様の前だけじゃないです。お念仏何万打仏お唱えする中、その人生はねいつでも仏様の腕の中であります。だから大きな大きな仏様に私たちは今抱きしめられている、そんな、大きな何万打仏の命を今命いっぱいにいただいている私たちであります。だからね私たち安心して私が私の人生を生きていけます、分け隔てする私の世界だけども、その私たちをそのまま分け隔てず分け隔てない仏様の大きな船の上にね乗せてくださっている、その船の上だからね笑ったり泣いたりね怒ったりねしながら、私らしくね安心して生きていけるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います、私たちお互いみんな仏様となっていくね尊い命をねお互いいただいておりますからね、お互い大事にしながらね歩ませていただければなというふうに思います。はい、お話を聞いていただきありがとうございました。来月のねアナウンスメントをさせていただきますけれども、来月は10月8日の日曜日でございます。また第2日曜日11時頃から、いつもちょっと遅くなってあったりするんですけども、もしドアが閉まってても前がね英語のサービスしてますけども、11時に来られても、一緒に入っていただいても構いませんのでご遠慮なくお入りください。そうですね。でもう一つアナウンスがありまして、私事で大変恐縮なんですけれども、私ですね今宗教者ビザっていうビザでねアメリカで滞在させていただいてるんですけれども、そのね更新がですねこの、法律が変わってうまくできなくなってしまっている状態なんですよね。なんかプライオリティデーっていうデートがあるんですけども、それが法律が変わって ちょっとね前倒しになっちゃって、私がちょっと省かれてる状態にいるんですよね。ですから私の今のこの宗教者ビザでアメリカに入れるのは、来年の4月までっていうふうになってしまってるんですね。なのでお寺の方たち一生懸命何かできることないかっていうふうにね考えていろんなところにご連絡くださってるんですけども、どこもちょっと何もできないっていうふうな状態であります。でなんていうんですかね、コングレスウォメンの方に提出する書面というか嘆願書みたいな感じ、だからサインを、ね、集めてちょっと持ってったら、もしかしたら特別処置をしてくださるんじゃないかってことで、こんな名前を書いていただいて、私のこの滞在をどうにかサポートするという感じ、何か私のためにねガバメントに、特別処置を取っていただけるような嘆願書のような形でね作っていただきましたので、ジムでも多分書いていただけると思いますし、そこの多分まだブースがあったらそこでも書いていただけると思いますので、もしねよろしかったらちょっと書いていただければと思います。はい、そのような形でありますけれども、はい、よろしくお願いいたします。はい、ではちょっとまたいつもの通り長くなってしまいましたけれども、これで締めさせていただきます。ご一緒に合唱お念仏申しましょう。ナマンダウツナンマンダウツナンマンダウツナンマンダウツナンマンダウツナンマンダウツナマンダウツナンマンダウツナマンダウ。お直りください。ありがとうございました。